Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost Podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Robert, and I got blocked by Corey Feldman on Twitter. And with me, I have...
Pickle Mac!
Yes.
Motherfuckers!
Yes, Pickle Mac. Sadly, this is a week where we are minus an Alex. Again, work schedule getting in the way, but he did have a couple bits he wanted to get through to us beforehand, so we'll splice those in where appropriate.
Yeah, we all knew it could last forever.
I know, right? Why do things always have to get in the way of the good shit? Why?
I don't know, man.
But, you know,
I don't know.
At least we had Pickle Rick to make up for it. I'm telling you, man, I predict that, give it about 2 months, we're going to get exactly as many Pickle Rick cosplays at every convention as there are Spider-Man and Deadpools.
I see a lot of pickles in the future. A lot of pickles with I'm guessing, roach and rat limbs.
Some of those might actually be authentic. Especially in Florida. We have mutant cockroaches everywhere. Run!
Okay, do they talk too?
No, they don't talk. They're just very... Seriously, it's like fucking Fallout 5 down here. Run!
The fuck?
We're coming for you, Mark. First Florida, then Georgia, then whatever's directly adjacent to there. I assume wherever the hell you live. I don't know. I don't know what the U.S. map looks like. But yeah, episode 46. So, how have things been going with you, buddy?
It's been whatever. I don't. It's been the usual me writing shit and just doing my fucking thing.
Always good to hear. So as for me, yeah, I got myself blocked by Corey Feldman. I am unrealistically proud about this.
Congratulations.
Someone call my mama.
You made it.
Yeah, so about that whole thing, maybe this is a minor drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the band Nightclub. Maybe you had. They did the music for that show Moonbeam City. You know, the one that was on Comedy Central for like 1 season and then canceled.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So apparently they had tweeted some kind of a very obvious tongue-in-cheek joke at Corey Feldman. He tweeted a very butthurt response, and then he blocked Nightclub on Twitter. And they had basically, just been trying to figure out how to get unblocked, including many fans looking to, get blocked alongside them as a show of solidarity. Now, I was about 30% with the solidarity, and 70% just looking to see if Corey Feldman actually would do it. Because I saw he was blocking a lot of people. Yeah, folks, this is what my life is. When I'm excited to get blocked by a celebrity on Twitter. And not even a good celebrity.
Like a D-list or F-list? Look, I don't know.
I guess F-list. I mean, who even remembers Corey Feldman anymore except for doing a really shitty album? I will hopefully never have to hear that album as long as I live. Not unless I'm super drunk and someone dares me to. But yeah, man, it happened. I am so unrealistically proud about this. And even though he eventually unblocked Nightclub on Twitter, I'm still happy that I got blocked. So that's basically about it. Shit, my week is fucking boring too. Damn. So I guess we might as well move on to the new song discussions for this week, of which there were a handful of decent ones. Obviously, much more pared down from last week, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a more manageable chunk here. Of course, there will be a playlist down in the description, so if you want to listen along with us, you absolutely can. So, starting from the top, enter Shikari, this very electronic-influenced post-hardcore band, have announced the release date of their newest album, I believe their 5th one overall, The Spark, due out September 22nd. And they've released the new single, Live Outside, which, I'm going to be honest, Enter Shikari kind of frustrates me, because they had a couple really good albums. Their 3rd album, especially, A Flash Flood of Color, was like my favorite album of 2013. And then when they came out with the Minesweep in 2015, I thought this album was just kind of like a marked down. Like, it almost kind of felt like filler. And then with this new album, hearing this single, this also sounds like filler, because this almost seems to sap out any of like the intensity of their sound. It's just kind of like this. It has this very awkward bleep bloop synth melody that sounds really juvenile, kind of like a bedtime nursery rhyme or lullaby or something. And, you know, the chorus is very nice sounding. It's this, you know, very triumphant, anthemic, you know, chorus about wanting to live outside of the bullshit of society, as symbolized in the video by everyone being hooked up to VR devices that show them this obviously very over-commercialized version of an ideal reality. But, like, this is very just neutered as all hell. There's no bite to it. And I get that they said in interviews that this was going to be our most emotional and personal record to date, but that doesn't mean you have to skimp out on the heaviness. Now, there's always the chance the rest of the album could have some harder hitting stuff here, but when this is the sort of one of the big things that you choose to lead off the album with, one of the first foots forward you decide to put up, that doesn't exactly fill me with a lot of confidence. I'm sorry. Jeez.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on to the next song on the list, something that I'm still much more excited for. The band Living Colour, of course, newest album Shade, coming out September 8th. And they've released yet another new single, a track called Program, which, as the name implies, is all about television programs, and in particular how media, and I guess news media as well, are, you know, biased manipulators trying to tell you how to think and feel, man, fight the system, and, you know, all that shit.
Drink your milk.
Exactly. And just to kind of drive this point home, in the intro, the song is actually opened up with this audio interview of the rapper Scarface, specifically discussing Living Colour, you know, their status as one of the few all-black, you know, rock or metal bands, and in particular the song Cult of Personality, to this day still their most recognizable song. Also similarly about, like, you know, larger-than-life cult personality types and whatnot. I will say, though, the song is pretty, you know, simple and straightforward. The riffs, you know, are very basic. It does have a pretty, you know, steady, catchy groove to it. There's a pretty solid solo about partway through. And I do think there's also a rap guest verse. I'm not sure if it's Scarface. It very well could be. I didn't see it credited anywhere on, like, YouTube or, like, you know, the rest of the internet. But again, a simple song, but pretty fun. I still think I prefer the previous single better, though. Well, guess we'll have to wait until, you know, September 8th to see how the album pans out. And now let's cut very quickly to Alex, who had some things he wanted to contribute.
Scarface. What would we do without you and the Ghetto Boys? Anyway, yeah, Living Colour. More of the awesomeness that they bring to the table with this song, with some funky bass lines, excellent guitar work, and some awesome vocals from Corey Glover, and then BAM! Rap breaks down right in the middle right at the song. I love it!
Alright, and with that out of the way, moving on to our next couple of songs, which are both Adult Swim related. First up, we have entry number 12 in the 2017 Adult Swim Singles Program from IDM/glitch/ambient/kitchen sink of everything electronic artist Venetian Snares. Remember, the same man who I'm pretty sure once recorded an entire album based off samples of his cats.
Damn.
And that's right, he was doing it before Meow the Jewels.
Oh, yeah, and the song title is very confusingly long, which is titled "Simple Task Became Unthinkable." He just stared into Coral Ernie balls until he ended.
In case you're wondering, Ernie balls, I'm pretty sure, are a brand of guitar strings primarily. They might put out other music equipment, but that's mainly how I know them, guitar strings.
So yeah, listen to this song, is like, well, this shit sounds very, very, like, very fucking weird and glitchy. Like, it is about all things of glitch and every electronic sound you hear. Man, I love it.
Yeah, it's good old Venetian Snares to a T, which means you're not even entirely sure what you're listening to. I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's very sparse. The glitchy beats just kind of echo ping and reverberate all throughout. Like, there's someone just, like, hitting a bunch of metal pipes until they, produce a lot of clanging sounds. There's some percussion, but it's just, like, kick drum hits that are kind of, like, spaced out throughout the beat. And, it's just awesomely weird.
Yep, within the one why I liked it so much. It sounds like shit I do when I was a kid once, when I want to make my own music. I just do that shit.
Wait, you used to make your own music?
Well, when I'm like, like pretend, like how you, I don't know how to explain this. Like,
you were imagining it in your head, and you were just kind of banging on pots and pans.
That shit.
Ah, every kid's dream. Before your mom buys you a real drum set, you could drive her nuts. I might be projecting here. Anyway, so moving on to the other one, and this one was quite the surprise.
Yep.
Now, this one isn't tied to the Adult Swim singles program, although it does feature someone who is lined up on that program, and that is, of course, our dear old friend, Monsieur MF Doom. Apparently, Adult Swim has announced that for the next 15 weeks, they're going to be releasing a compilation project, The Missing Notebook Rhymes, that is 15 weeks of various Doom and Doom-related tracks.
Oh, 15 weeks.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be releasing my birthday. I'm like, that's a good birthday present. Not to know.
Yeah. So, of course, we got the first of these singles, which is actually a song by the late rapper Sean Price from his upcoming posthumous album Imperious Rex, which is actually, according to what I've seen, apparently coming out the day after we record this. We're recording on Monday, so by the time you're listening to this album's already out. And the track is called Notebook 00 Negus. Or Negus.
Yeah, it's Negus.
Or Negus. I don't know.
Either way you pronounce it in some way. But Negus, with this track, I don't know much about Sean Price. Like, I know some friends that do dig his shit, and I gotta say, do rap nice in here. I will say it's a shame that he passed away. Like, I don't know when. I think 1-2 years ago. But yeah, Doom snapped here. I really like the shit on, and Doom as always did some good shit on here. And I really like this very eerie production on top of it. Like, this is like that. It's like that typical Doom style production that you get when you hear a track with him in it.
Yeah, there's this very, like, shimmering but creepy industrial, like, hazy synth thing in the background, and this howling is pretty much like a tremolo guitar lead that's just, kind of sounding like a very menacing horror type thing. Sounds right at home for good old Metal Face.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I liked it. Some pretty cool, creepy bars in there, very intimidating as fuck. And I'm really curious to see what else we get from this compilation. Maybe we'll get more new Mad Villain.
Hopefully. Maybe you might get a Doomstar shot. Who am I saying?
Yeah! What's been going on with that, man? Come on, motherfucker.
Don't hear something on it. And if you do release some Doomstars, keep releasing on October the 3rd. Please.
Yeah, but again, we got 15 weeks, so who knows what other surprises will be in from the Metal Face MC.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to move on to the next song on the list, which is from a band that's pretty much always just been there. That's really all I can say. I know they're big. I know they're very popular in the modern metal community, but I just don't. I have no attachment here. It's Trivium. They have a new album coming out sometime soon. We don't have a title or a release date. They released the debut single, the lead single, The Sin and the Sentence, and it's whatever. It has thrashy rhythms. The guitars sound perfectly fine. The vocals are all right. The drum beats do have some okay intricacies to them with like blast beats and how it moves across like all the symbols and whatnot in these intricate patterns. I don't know. It's just whatever, I guess. If I listened to Trivium in high school, which I'll admit I never did, I probably would have been more attached, and I probably would have given more of a shit here. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just like, you know, background noise to me. It does nothing for me overall. But you know, I'm sure Alex has something to say. I mean, he's the reason like this song is even in the playlist here. So let's see what you have to say, man. I mean, you put it here, so I'm sure you have something more to say than I do.
I'm not the biggest Trivium fan in the world, but I can admit when a song hits hard. And this song hits real hard in all the right places, and their new drummer is wicked great. Now, Rob, I know you're not the biggest fan of Trivium, so all I can really say about this is... look, it's 4 a.m. We'll find about this later. This song's pretty good. I know you're going to say otherwise, but... whatever.
Alright then. Now moving on, we have the second single by the noise rock band Metz from their upcoming September 22nd release, Strange Peace. It's a song called Drained Lake, which, again, of course, it's really, 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 really noisy as hell. I mean, the previous song was a little bit, slightly stripped back. There was still some noise, but it was certainly one of the more straightforward and catchy songs released by the band. But Drained Lake here, yeah, this one definitely cranks up the noise factor, you know, with the swelling just walls of guitars and shit. Especially with how, like, it's playing this one consistent rhythm that's just kind of like plucking one note and then accentuated by these high up chords that almost kind of have like these jagged screeches that pop up specifically on those chords that help, you know, accentuate the noise vibe of it. And of course, there's a lot of really howling, distorted synths that are kind of like backing the rest of the instrumentation. It's a loud, very aggressive, in-your-face track. And, you know, just pretty good overall. This is more what I like to hear from my Metz, and I'm really looking forward to Strange Peace. I'm sure it'll be, you know, a pretty good one. Ooh boy. And now for the last song of the week. First I'll just say, wow, we got through this pretty quick. Damn.
Yeah, we did.
This is quicker than we usually get through these. But, yeah, this last one, so apparently we're still dealing with Ray Sremmurd. They're still a thing. We still have to acknowledge their existence. They got a third Shrem Life album, you know, Shrem Life 3 coming out who knows when, and we got the debut single, the lead single from this album called Perplexing Pegasus, and it's actually not too bad. I mean, the beat is a little weird and offbeat, but the lyrics are these very soulfully complex and intricate. You're not buying this for a second, are you?
No, I thought I was, but I'm like, wait, really?
Yeah, I wasn't fooling anyone for a second. No, it's Ray Sremmurd. It's just a bunch of disconnected phrases all about, oh, we're awesome. Oh, I want to fuck this bitch. Oh, like, look at me and how awesome I am. In fact, the only lyric of note here, and I wrote it down here, I'm pretty sure it's from Slim Jimmy's verse, because, okay, say my name, parentheses, Jim, they ain't know how to spell it, so I'll put it on my chain, which, no shit, dumbass, you make your name the most impossible fucking thing to remember and spell. No wonder you have to put it on a chain. That's basically just the world's most expensive mandatory name tag.
Okay, for something that I'm first gonna go on this lyric called "Going Hard on a Bitch Like Major Pain."
I don't know, man.
As in you referenced that one Damon Wayans movie that not everybody remembers that much.
Well, see, there's your problem. What movie? I don't watch a lot of Damon Wayans movies. Was it White Chicks? Was it one of the scary movies? I don't know. But continue.
But yeah, like I said, it's, you know, your typical, you know, flexing, you know, I got this shit kind of song. And of course you don't know if you figure the word Perplexing Pegasus and you're wondering what the fuck he talking about. That's the thing. That's his sports car. It's a sports car. Like, you'll see no actual magical horse. That's voiced by Kurt Bopper. So no, it's just it's just, sports car, all that shit.
Oh wait, is that what it was? I thought it was some bitch you wanted to fuck. I don't know, man. All this bragging shit just kind of bleeds into one another. I couldn't know what the Pegasus was.
Yeah, I'm on Genius. They said if Pegasus refer as a sports car that looks exotic.
Well, I'll give it credit. At least it makes more sense than Panda.
Yeah, wait, did you think Pegasus referred to somebody that he wanted to fuck?
Yes.
You think he will fuck a pet? You think he will fuck a horse?
I don't know. Like, dude, these guys have no command of the English language, so with the way they phrase everything, what choice am I left with? Sure, they'd fuck a horse. I mean, these are the same guys who write a song called No Flex Zone and then flex. They say I ain't got no type, then list their type. They call themselves the Beatles, but at no point, say how exactly they're like the Beatles. These are guys who don't understand the English language. They literally say they ain't know how to spell my name. So, these are guys who just can't spell or put words together. So, what did you think I was gonna say?
All I gotta say, I'm just this is payback for last week, right?
What the hell do you mean?
You know what I mean.
Oh, dude, you're pissed off about that. Look, at least the Macklemore thing gave us a good rant out of you, and at least that song was interestingly bad. This is the rice cake of music, man.
I'm not pissed off, but I just want to see you squirm.
Well, wish fucking granted. Then again, I only did this to myself. I put this playlist together, so I full well knew the consequences going in. I really got to get a screener for this shit or something. But, yeah, so... Well, I guess we'll have to wait for Surreal Life 3.
Whenever that comes out.
And before anyone tries to get on my ass, yes, I did listen to Shrem Life and Shrem Life 2. I gave these guys a fair shot. I know what I'm talking about here with my disdain. But, yeah, that's basically all the new songs for the past week, so we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we have some news to discuss, so...
A lot of it!
Well, it'll probably be a quick thing to get through, so...
Well, more than last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. So, see you in a little bit, kiddies.
Yo.
And we're back. So, like we said earlier, we do have quantitatively more news items than, before, but these are ones that I assume we'll be able to get through a little bit more quickly, except for maybe the last one, which might take a little bit more time, but obviously let's get started with this first one. So, Icelandic singer Bjork, the beloved queen of many a music fan everywhere, including me somewhat recently, has announced that she actually put up a note on Facebook, announcing a brand new album and even releasing pre-orders, on her website, even though the album currently doesn't have a title or any artwork to show either. You would more or less be pre-ordering an IOU, which, for people who love Bjork, I'm sure is not an issue. If I wasn't worried about my fan bases right now, I'd probably do it myself too.
So basically the album It's called blank, blank, blank. Here's the blank. The release date is blank, blanky, blank.
Pretty much. Although she has given a bit of detail about the album. She describes it as being, quote, about being in love. And while Volnikura was reflecting on the breakdown of her then recent marriage to Matthew Barney, this album, she says, is, quote, my dating album. This is like my Tinder record.
Wait, her Tinder record?
I'm confused. Okay, I don't use online dating, but isn't Tinder where people just show dick pics everywhere? Or is that Snapchat? Or is that Grindr?
there's someone.
I'm not even sure which one of these are real.
There's the 50 Cent gonna say, I don't go with that site about a fake. That's almost a site that just says, you know what? Here's my dick. Look.
I want all of you to look at it. But I guess if she's still out there trying to find love after her new marriage, you know, good for her. Bjork is a fantastic woman who absolutely deserves whatever love she can find. One other interesting detail that, much like Volnicura, this album will be produced by Venezuelan electronic artist Arca.
Oh yeah, I did hear that album this year. There's a song that had nothing but whips.
Yeah, and in case I haven't mentioned it before, that album is actually really good. So Arca obviously does a lot of good work, and I'm interested to hear how exactly he follows up on his previous effort with Bjork. Now we just need an actual release date, and maybe a single. Possibly also, you know, the title and artwork. Please? But, we got another album announcement here. Now, I keep saying this phrase, that there's going to be a lot of pretty good, high-profile death metal stuff this year. I already mentioned the new Dying Fetus release, you know, my favorite, old-school death metal band. Wrong one to fuck with, still probably going to end up in my album of the year. Last week we mentioned Discarnate's newest album, which is coming out, you know, sometime in September. And then, of course, we have another one of my probably top 10 of all-time favorite bands, the Black Dahlia Murder, who, in my opinion, have never released a bad album. And they've only gotten, like, steadily better with each release. It's almost kind of amazing to me, to be perfectly honest. Like, goddamn. So, in an interview about a week or two ago with guitarist Brian Eschbeck, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Eschbeck. Again, Brian, if you're listening to this, I so sincerely apologize for butchering your name. But he revealed that the band was in fact working on a new album. It is called Nightbringers, and the label has now confirmed the suspected release date of October 6th. Heck, we even have album artwork for it, which is this very deep blood red sort of aesthetic, you know, with the dark haunting clouds, the dead trees with no leaves, all just kind of curling, just kind of like long untrimmed fingernails, as the sight of this, like, these black robed figures are just kind of marching towards something we don't even know. But yeah, obviously, I am hyped as hell, especially considering the band's last album, Abysmal, that's actually the name, was, well, pretty much anything but. This band is just always killer, album after album after album. And, you know, if the trend keeps up, this is going to be another killer one. Now we just need, like, a studio recording of one of the songs already. Apparently, they've already been playing the title track live on the Summer Slaughter Tour, which I probably would have heard if whoever was scheduling this actually bothered to put a date in fucking South Florida, god damn it!
And somewhere they laugh at you.
I'm still very salty about that, yes. Sorry about that. And the good news train continues, because not only do we have the announcement of what is sure to be a top 10 of the year metal album release, but we also have a delay on an album that I'm sure was going to be in the bottom 10 of the year. And that is, of course, the latest Fall Out Boy album, Mania. Originally, it was set for release next month, September 15th, and of course it already had 2 singles out, one which we mentioned was Garbage, Young and Menace, and Champion, which was just kind of but Patrick Stump, the band's vocalist, had announced that they're pushing the release date back all the way to January 19th.
Oh, wow.
They're quoted as saying, and this is a full statement they released, I believe on Facebook, Twitter, saying, I know we're supposed to come up with some really exciting story to spin in pull quotes about how the studio exploded and I ran in to save Pete's bass or something, or like aliens stole the master tapes. That would be fun for sure, but the truth is, we just wanted the record to be better than we can make it in the next couple of weeks, and it would require a little more time. So basically, he's more or less giving us the same, you know, line that Harmon and Justin Roiland did for why it took so damn long for, you know, Rick and Morty Season 3. Just some perceived sense of perfectionism.
Oh, yeah.
Except here's the thing, though. The Rick and Morty season was worth the wait.
Yeah, pretty much.
This album, though, I'm not sure it's going to be, because, again, your last two big pop rock albums were just kind of middling and eh. The singles you released don't inspire a lot of confidence. So, yeah, I can't really say I'm all that excited. Plus, you pushed it to January, man. Everybody knows January is kind of a wasteland for all kinds of media, not just albums and, movies and shit.
Yeah. It's pretty much like, if anyone like, oh, we're gonna release, oh yeah, let's put it here, like you do find there, but it's January, yeah, I know, but people won't, just go in there.
Like, with the exception of RTJ3, there have not been any good January releases. Well, okay, maybe there was that one Creator album that was pretty good, but that's about it. So, yeah, thank God I get to delay this. It's kind of like when you find out you have to reschedule a dentist appointment. You know you're going to have to suffer through it eventually, but,
I know
it's
the
good
pain.
that you get to delay.
Yeah, I know that pain all too well.
So, moving on from album announcement news, we have a couple of music videos to discuss here. First off, we have a new music video from Thundercat for the best song off of his new album, Drunk, Tokyo.
And it's like you picture it, him and Tokyo playing video games, going looking at anime stuff and all that. It's like you're somebody who's so good for the first time. You're on all excitement. It's basically like if one of us was to Tokyo.
Specifically me, because I would be the
Goku.
one playing with the mouths of the fish.
Goku fucking ruined me.
Yeah, he's, it almost, I don't know what kind of quality video it is, but it's very, distorted and hazy, almost kind of like it's how he remembers his visit to Tokyo. A lot of him fucking around with fish. Even this funny point where, like, at the end of the first visit, he's like, can I just stay one more day? And then on, like, one more day, it cuts to him, like, messing with a fish's mouth with chopsticks to lip sync the line. He's sleeping on, like, the Tokyo subways with, like, this Goku, like, eye sleep mask, I think. Of course, he's fucking around with one of the power scanners, like Vegeta, over 9,000. Of course, we have plenty of shots of the Gundam Cafe. We have, Kenshiro and other Goku merchandise. Him playing with pachinko machines and fucking Japanese Street Fighter 2 arcade machines. The lucky bastard. He's living the weeaboo dream, I swear.
Pretty much.
Please take one of us with you next time, Papa Thundercat. I promise I'll pay you with money. Whatever I have. Let me check my jar here.
I'll get some other.
I only have $70 in here. Will that be enough, sir? Please.
I have. You know what? I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say how much money I got in on air. Somebody might try to steal it. I know who.
Let me guess. No. Is it $4?
Times 50.
Oh, please, don't be ridiculous. Everybody knows people our age don't have money anymore. Heck, that was just a bag of Altoids I was shaking to create the illusion that I had a jar of cash. But that's going on a tangent, so, yeah, fun little music video.
Yeah.
As for the other music video, and I'm only putting this one here because I actually listened to the artist's albums recently, including the one this one came off of, we have the latest music video for Father John Misty, the popular, incredibly sarcastic folk musician. It's for the song Things It Would Have Been Helpful to Know Before the Revolution from his album Pure Comedy, which came out back in April. And, of course, it's a perfect mirror of the very, perhaps some would say, annoyingly sarcastic and detached nature of the lyrics. He's just kind of singing about how the world is basically, gone to shit after, the revolutionaries got their way. There's giant cockroaches and, like, rats and shit everywhere. Heck, it almost kind of looks like the sewers from the Pickle Rick episode, basically. And you see, like, it's all in stop motion. There's kind of, like, this figure roaming the wasteland who's kind of collecting, smartphones and shit for some reason, as we see at the end. When we get to the end of, actually, we see he hooks up all the phones together to create, like, one continuous power source, and it just says, like, phones for sale. So, yeah, just, sarcastically commenting on, I guess, the demise of the world and, how we, would likely interact with that given where we are right now. And, as for the song itself, I might go on a rant on this, maybe if we do, like, a end of the year thing for best, worst, whatever, but there's just something about the smugness of all of this that just really rubs me the wrong way, even if the actual song itself is technically adequate. I mean, it's not bad musically by any means, it's a very nice sounding, dramatic, folkish country ballad, but I don't know, there's just something about the lyrics that really bug me. I mean, it's a neat little video though, that's about it. So I guess we just have to move on to the last article here on the list, and this is the more interesting one. So, we've of course mentioned repeatedly that Baby Driver is great. The movie is great, the action is great, the acting is great, and of course the soundtrack is great, which basically makes up like about 3 baker's dozens worth of like licensed music, the kind of shit that would give the Guardians films a run for their money.
Pretty much.
But apparently, Sony Pictures has found themselves on the receiving end of a lawsuit. The plaintiff being Roland Feld, the son of Mark Bolan, the late Mark Bolan, former frontman of the band T-Rex. Now, it's worth noting what this lawsuit is for. It specifically claims that Sony Pictures had not properly cleared the license to use T-Rex's classic hit Deborah. That's Debora, because there's a lot of Deborah songs in the soundtrack here. Now, it's worth noting that, as it says here in the Pitchfork piece I'm quoting, in 2014, Feld successfully sued for the rights to 144 copyrights connected to the band's catalog, including one to Deborah. Now, in the complaint, Feld states that Sony reached out to his lawyer to request a license for the song, but then cut off communication shortly after Feld informed the company that its use of the song in the film was unauthorized. Which, boy, that sounds like it's going to be a fun time. Now, Now, I'm kind of suspect here, a little suspicious of this, because, okay, if you look at sort of like the press trail leading up to the release of the movie, Edgar Wright had been going on and on and on about just clearing the licenses and shit for, all the songs in this movie. It's been something he's been talking up quite a bit. But, I mean, to hear this one, like, it's kind of weird that he would say this now. And, to be honest, okay, so he says that Sony reached out to his lawyer to request a license. And Feld says that use of the song in the film was unauthorized. But here's the thing, though. That's why they were reaching out to you. So they could clear the license and authorize the use of the song in the film. So your defense is basically just, like, circular logic, man. Like, what the hell?
So they were trying to reach out for him to get to the song, but he don't want to do it? Or
I guess. And his saying that using the song in the film is unauthorized is just legalese, him trying to save face and, just... Now, what I am interested in is what the actual result of this is. Because you could imagine that, okay, let's say things went, Roland Feld's way. How would they have to they would obviously have to re-edit the scene, because they'd likely have to either pay a massive amount of royalties to him, which I kind of doubt Sony wants to do, or they would have to edit the song out and I guess, re-edit something else in. Or I guess they would have to, like, block out the, I guess drop the music from it entirely. And who knows how this would affect the home video and, I guess, DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, ability to stream all this. Because we sort of have a precedent for something like this happening before. Like, okay, if you ever wanted to know why the only season of the classic sitcom Malcolm in the Middle to be released on DVD is the first one, it's precisely because the licensing costs of music to actually publish them on DVD got so high that they couldn't afford to do it, even though the entirety of the show was on friggin' Netflix, but I guess that must be a different ballpark. Yeah, so, you got anything to add here?
Well, not much. Like, what I gotta say is, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next few weeks. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if eventually, if Baby Driver gets released on, digital, DVD, and Blu-ray, I don't know if they're gonna just add out the song, which could cause some concern. In fact, since that song is related to part of the movie, since is a character named Deborah in the movie, like.
Yeah, it's kind of gonna fuck with the flow of everything.
Yeah, that might mess with the flow with that a bit, or a lot. I mean, wow, this is a bit of a snafu Sony's in.
Yeah, it seems like Sony can never escape snafus nowadays. I mean, who knows? Maybe sometime between here and then, Run the Jewels will release a song called Deborah. And they can use it there. But, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And that basically covers all the news for this week. Yeah, not as big as last week, but, we still got some decent things to talk about here, so...
Yeah.
All we'd really have to do now is talk about the new album releases for the week of August 11, 2017, which, as far as super huge notable ones, things are kind of slim pickings here. So, only 4 releases. We have, first off, the newest album from punk rock act The Downtown Boys, titled Cost of Living. The newest album from death metal stalwarts Incantation, titled Profane Nexus. Of course, from our boy 106 Point Never, we have the soundtrack to the upcoming theatrical release Good Time. And, of course, last but definitely a big one, we have the return of pop singer Kesha with her newest album, Woman. And that'll basically about do it for this week. So now we just have to clean house and get the hell out of here. So, Mark, where can they find you on the internets?
Of course, on Twitter via MacHybridMedia and on my site, thebehindthehybrid1.com. As usual. And I'm doing a lot of shit this week. More stories coming up. A new M review is on there now, and of course, Feedback Bears is back on, which means recap time.
Yeah. So, as for me, you can find me on Twitter at RobBarracuda, Instagram as well. Also, Curious Cat, if you want to send me anonymous questions about how much I suck. Be sure to contact me via email if you have any questions, comments, or inquiries about the podcast or music-related stuff. Robert@surrealresolution.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Google Play and iTunes. New audio-only episodes go up every Wednesday. Video goes up every Friday on my YouTube page. Just search Rob Barracuda or Decibel Boost. And, of course, this is the official music podcast of Surreal Resolution. Follow on Twitter at Surreal Rezo. Find online at www.surrealresolution.com. And find the podcast on its own subdomain, decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. Where you can find the archives of our past episodes. And, of course, be sure to listen to the rest of our great podcasts. If you like gaming, check out The Training Stage. If you like movies, check out Salty Flakes. If you like anime, check out Podcast ONA. And, of course, be sure to stay tuned on our end, since this week we'll also be doing the monthly album roundup, recapping all of the wonderful, good, and also bad releases of July. Gonna be some interesting stuff to talk about there. Be sure to read a lot of our great written articles. In fact, I have a new article up, an opinion piece analyzing Nielsen Music's mid-year report. I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I had some miscellaneous extra thoughts I wanted to get in there. Finally making use of my statistically minded mentality. I'm finally useful for once. Yay! So be sure to give that a read. Be sure to jump into our Discord chat. And, of course, shout out to the producer, Mr.E, for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. Links to his shit down in the description. Well, that'll about do it for this week's episode of Decibel Boost. So, until next time...
Peace!